All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to class. My name is Jennifer, and this is an Exos yoga practice. We're going to do a 30-minute class. And let's go ahead and get started with some of the basics. I've got a bolster here. I've got a yoga block. I've got a yoga strap and my sticky mat. So you should at least have a mat for practice today, and anything that you think you need to be comfortable is super important when you practice yoga. So it's freezing outside right now. If you want to start off with your jacket on, if you're wearing sweatpants or whatever, for the most part, being barefoot is safer. But otherwise, do what it takes basically to make yourself comfortable. And as we get going, if you get warm, you can always remove those layers. Today we are going to start in a standing position. I think a lot of us sit more than we stand. And so I'm gonna start you off that way today. All right. I tend to offer a lot of modifications, or at least I try my best to do that. So if something just really doesn't feel right, or you have something different about your anatomy, or you've had medical procedures, you know your body better than I do. Unfortunately, in this virtual platform, I can't move around and see what people are doing or get to know you very well. So you have to really use your body as a guide, particularly in the virtual class setting. So let's go ahead and come to a standing position. Set yourself up so you're about 2 fists apart in your feet. And so if you were to measure that, it should be about hips width. Take a look at your second toe. The second toe should be facing forward. Once you make your second toe face forward, you might find yourself a little bit pigeon-toed, and that's okay. That's what we want. Now, you might notice myself, my knees are buckling in, and sometimes when we're not as strong as we need to be in our hips, that feels like a natural, comfortable position. But we want to really activate and see if you can pull out so that the knees are aligned with the ankles and the ankles are aligned with the hips. So everything is going facing forward. Maybe lift those toes, the second and third, fourth toe if you can. You might not be able to make those move, that's okay, but it's nice to try. And one day you may be able to do that. So we've got pressure on the inside, outside of the foot, and on the heel. Go ahead and lift up tall from the navel, in and up. Your shoulders are back, chest is open. Your chin is maybe slightly lifted. And we're gonna roll those shoulders back and flip the palms forward. Nice. So you are in Tadasana. This is our starting pose today. Go ahead and start to just zone out a tad bit. Maybe you close your eyes or blur your vision. And start to notice your breath. You want to relax your shoulders so they're not high up, but there's still a bit of tone in the body. So you may feel yourself I'm really burning in my hips because I'm actively standing here. I'm not slumping forward. I'm in great posture, and it takes effort for me to do that. Shoulders are back, chest is lifted. Start to inhale a little bit deeper. Maybe inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your lips. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your lips. Build some awareness about your environment right now. Maybe there's things that you're noticing, but you're choosing to tune out. It could be something as microscopic as little noises in your home, a barking dog, television in the background, children, Maybe it's even a little chatter inside your head, things you need to do. Just observe and release. And go ahead and relax those arms back into a natural posture where your palms turn in. And we're going to start warming up some of the smaller joints. So we're going to take our hand, grab your fingers with your right hand, grab your left fingers with your right hand, and straighten that left arm out in front of you. So we're stretching the hand, the fingers, the elbow, the upper arm, forearm. And let's switch sides. Grab the right fingers with your left hand, straighten your arm out in front of you. Now you might not be able to straighten it out completely. Maybe you're like this, and that's okay too. The essence is that we're trying to just open up a part of the body that maybe isn't always stretched so much. One more on the left side. Pull those fingers back with the right hand, straighten the elbow. It should be a pulling sensation, not pain. Relax in right hand. One more time. Good. And we're going to look down at the feet. Pop your left ankle up so you're coming up to your toes. And then we're going to shift to the right foot and ankle, right heel up, balancing on those toes. And then we're shifting back the other way. You go back and forth at your own pace as many times as you want to. We're just stretching out your toes and your ankles. Maybe they don't get that often, especially when we're inside our socks or our shoes. We're really letting those toes run free. Warming up. And back into center. Feet hips width apart. And we're going to reach your right arm down, left arm up. Just side bending. Inhale back to center. So every time we come up, we're going to take a breath in. And when we bend, we're going to just push all that air out. Exhale out. Inhale up, reaching high. Exhale to the other side. A couple more times on each side at your own pace. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One last time. Inhale, exhale. And bend and reach. So this time we're going to add on to it. I want you to look over your left shoulder, reach over your shoulders. We're giving ourselves a little twist. Try to keep your hips square. We're twisting more from the waist and the spine. Good. Each time you come back to center, take a little bit of a breath. Exhale, twist it out. It's almost like you're using the abdominal muscles here. Can you feel that, where they're activating as you're twisting? And now let's combine those. So inhale, lift up tall in the spine. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Look over your right shoulder, reach. Inhale forward. Exhale over left side. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Look over the right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale through the left shoulder. Let's do a couple more times of this flow here just to really get ourselves warmed up. Remember, it's cold outside. Hopefully, well, no, if maybe you're not in St. Louis, maybe you're at one of our other locations. One more time. And once you've finished your last cycle, we'll meet here in the middle. Perfect. All right. So we're going to step a little wider now. Turn your toes out. So we're about, let's say at least three foot between our heels, turning the toes out. Reach your arms up overhead. And we're gonna sit down kind of like we're sitting back. So you guys can see your bottom is going back, but we're sitting down. The upper body and the torso is aligned straight up. And you're gonna pull your arms down into like a field goal position. I sometimes call these cactus arms in yoga. Field goal works too. Inhale up, lengthen, exhale down. Inhale up. As you come up, squeeze in the glutes. Exhale, come down. Think about yourself coming through 2 panes of glass, sliding right down through there. Inhale up. Exhale down, building a little bit more heat in the body. You can pick up the pace if you want to. Routing some of that blood into the lower body, into the legs. 2, 3 more times. And on this last one, I want you to come down and hold. There you go. So find a place where you think that you can hold for a moment. It might be really low for you. It might be a little higher, and that's fine. Find a place where you can hold. We're going to sit with it for a second. Why? Because it might be uncomfortable. Focus on your breathing. Two more cycles of breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. And come up. Good. Excellent. Now we're going to go ahead and widen that stance a little bit more. And you're going to shift over to the right side. Just a little small lunge for starting out. And then over to the left side. So you're pushing your hips back as you lunge over to the side. We want to try to be kind to our knees. If it doesn't feel really great to your knees, just think more about sitting back into it. Almost like a one-legged squat. You can reach if that helps you hold some balance. Keep your hands on your hips. Sometimes guides you sitting back into that one-legged squat. Let's go a little deeper. Maybe you can come down. Other side, sit back and reach. All right. We're going to come all the way down on this next one. Sitting down. Let's take a pause to balance. So that left heel is up, sitting back. You might notice a little bit of stretching sensation in the hamstrings or those adductors, the muscles in that inner thigh. See if you can watch the flow of your breath through the nose. And then you can bring your hands in front of you. Help guide you over to the left side. We're going to come kind of deep with that if you can. This is a great opportunity to use a support like a block. It can help keep your body more upright, sitting back, that one-legged squat. So option to practice some balancing, some focus. Maybe use your focal point out in front of you. We call that your drishti in yoga. And release down. We're going to shift back to the other side and then rotate so that you're coming into a low lunge. The right knee is in front of you, left leg's back behind you. Untuck your toes. And we're going to shift back into what we call the half splits. So that right leg is extended out in front of you. And we're going to flow a little bit with this, so shifting back forward. See if you can come up to those fingertips, lifting your chest. Also use your block for support here. If you have 2 blocks, it can be very helpful. And back one more time. Lengthening in the hamstring, those muscles on the back side of the leg on the right side. and shifting back forward. Tuck your toes, and we're going to swivel over to the other side, okay? So come into our side lunge first. Rotate around that left leg, so you're in low lunge on the left side. Untuck your toes, and we're going to shift back into the half splits. If you need to adjust yourself just a bit so you're more on the heel of your left foot, that's great. Gives you a little bit more of a lengthening on that back side of the left leg. Remember, use your block or whatever supports you have. Coming up to your fingertips can help, but if you need more than fingertips, you need your block. They are a very minimal investment. You should be able to get one for $5 or more. But I've seen them many places for about $5. All right, shift back forward, low lunge on the left side. Watch your breath. When I say watch your breath too, what I mean by that in yoga is that when we're holding our breath, when we're doing things that do not allow us to have a natural, gentle flow, it means that we're not in sync. And so we want to watch that and let it be our guide. You may need to take the edge off your physical practice in order to become in sync with the breath. All right, come back into your low lunge, tuck those toes, and come into the side lunge. All right, and then back into the middle. Use your hands to walk yourself back into the middle. So turn your toes now. So we're in a wide-legged forward fold. The toes are facing forward. And you can just let your body fall down a little bit more. Maybe coming to your forearms. Maybe reaching back behind you. Whatever feels really good in this position. Maybe it's some natural spinal traction for you. It might be more of the hamstring stretching that feels really great. I'm going to come up a little bit to my block so I have a flat back. And just get really comfortable in this for another moment or two. Wherever you're at, start unwinding and place a little micro bend in your knees so you're protecting your muscles in the back of the leg and your back. And then bring your hands behind your back. So we're going to rest them on our tailbone and maybe come up about halfway, engage in the belly. Take a little pause here, see if we can flatten the back, tighten the core. We're using a lot of strength of the hamstrings to take a pause in this position. Keep those knees a little bit bent. I'm coming all the way to the top. Good. Relax your arms. Walk those feet back in. All right. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, sit down into a little chair. Now we're going to step the left foot back. Step the left foot back. Coming into crescent pose. Turn the back foot out to about 45 degrees. So you can square those shoulders back up, warrior one. Lunge just a tiny bit deeper. Open the arms out to the side. Take your gaze over the front hand. Warrior two. Lock your front leg. So both legs are straight in one line. And you're going to push your back hip towards the back of the room, reaching forward into triangle pose. Left arm up. Inhale all the way back up into warrior two. See if we can swivel the body back into crescent pose. There's a lot of strength in those legs this morning. And we're gonna reach forward and pull, stepping back into chair. All the way up to center, hands to heart. Let's take a pause here. Just a moment for introspection. Finding our center. Wonderful. And we're going to shift the weight to the left leg. Actually, I'm sorry. Let's squat down again. I'm going to go back into it the same way we did. The weight's into the left leg. Step back for high lunge or crescent pose. On the left side, reach arms above head. Then you're going to turn that back foot out to about 45 degrees. See if you can keep the hips square, shoulders square, facing forward. This is a great time to hold your block. Kind of makes you keep those arms solid. Shoulder forward, we're in warrior one. Maybe lunge forward just a tiny bit more as you open the arms wide. If you can see yourself in your screen somewhere, see if you have that back arm hiding behind you. You might even close your eyes for just a moment. See if you feel the sensation of reaching both directions. There's equal energy coming forward and backwards in warrior two. Pressing that front leg out, really keeping alignment of the front knee. Open your eyes, go ahead and lock those legs. Both legs are straight. Push the weight into that back hip a tiny bit as you shift forward, coming into triangle pose. Reach your right arm high. Pull that belly in. Inhale back, up, floating into warrior two one more time. And we're going to reach forward, pull yourself back into chair. And eye up into Tadasana. Hands to heart. And go ahead and transition to the floor. So we're going to have a seat with your legs out in front of you. Legs out in front of you. You have to kind of lift yourself up for a second. Pull the tissue out underneath your bum and your thighs. So we've got legs long and spine is tall. Another angle for you for a second. Good. And we're going to pull the right foot inside. So it's inside the left thigh. The knee is open. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, lean forward. And we're going to try to reach either the shin, the foot, toes, reaching long out in front of us. Maybe even wrapping around to the outside of that left leg, getting a bit more of a spine stretch, rib cage stretch, side body stretch, under the shoulder stretch. And release. You're going to bring that knee in, cross it over, and we're going to twist our body around to the right side. Take your right hand down just to support yourself. Give yourself a little bit more reinforcement to twist and look over the right shoulder. A little bit of a stretch in that hip there, the spine. And unwind, release. Unwrap the right leg, straighten it out in front of you, and we're going to switch sides. So the left foot is coming into the body. Place the bottom of your left foot next to that right thigh. Sitting tall, go ahead and reach forward. You might try using your block. It's a great time to use a strap, a dog's leash, maybe a towel or blanket. You know, stretching bands can work okay too if you have TheraBands. They're not as good for certain aspects of yoga. So I usually recommend people to find some sort of like more sturdy type of strap if you're going to be using it for yoga practice. There's no good that comes from forcing it. There's no good that comes from us injuring ourselves. So just kind of go to your edge, and it might be a little different than it was yesterday or than it was on the other side. Release. Pull that left knee into the body. Cross the foot over the opposite thigh. We're going to give ourselves a little hug, pulling the thigh, the knee into the body. And then you're going to reach your left hand behind you as you start twisting from the lower spine, looking over the left shoulder. And release. Good. Now we're going to come onto our backs. You can have your knees bent. And bring your right ankle over your left thigh. Thread your arms through the around the left thigh, through that little opening there, and you're just going to pull your left thigh into the body. So we're getting a good hip stretch here. I would encourage you to try to keep your feet active. That really helps. By active, I mean pulling the toes back towards you, flexing the foot and ankle. You can also use your strap if you wanted to put your strap around your left foot and pull that foot into the body. That's an option as well. And release the left foot down to the ground. We're going to switch sides. So right foot is grounded, left ankle over right thigh. See if you can, with the strength of your muscles, just kind of push that left knee open a little bit more. Yeah, and then with the hinge in your hips, see how far you can bring the right thigh in, grabbing around the right thigh, behind the right thigh if you can, just to get a deeper stretch. Good, so the sensation is going to be on the left hip. We're reaching and pulling on the right thigh, but the sensation is most likely in your left hip. Active feet. And release. Go ahead and keep both feet or heels on the ground. Bring your palms down beside you. So we're pressing gently down into the earth with our feet in our hands. Activate your belly, lift up just a bit. Maybe it's a few inches, maybe it's a little higher, but we want to maintain that co-contraction of the abs and the glutes, squeezing and lifting, bridge pose. And back down. This is coming into the final minutes of our class here. So if you'd like to do any other poses to finish out your practice that makes it your own, something that I didn't offer today, go ahead and take a moment to do that. Otherwise, let's get comfortable for our time of meditation. We're going to be coming into Shavasana. You could put your lower legs up on the chair or the couch. You could have your legs up on the wall with your back flat on the floor. I'm going to use my bolster and prop my lower legs up just a little bit. Maybe you roll up a jacket underneath your neck. Whatever it takes to be very comfortable in your physical body. We're going to come onto our backs. Let your arms fall off to the sides. And the feet and ankles just drop open. There's really no particulars with Shavasana. We have a traditional way of lying with your palms up. And let the muscles of your face soften. And any little tension and tone in the shoulders, let it release. Direct your attention to your belly, watching the way it rises and falls with your breath. You're ready to come out of this Shavasana practice. Go ahead and take the next few breaths to transition to your side. And then coming up to a seated posture that's comfortable for you. Go ahead and return just for a moment to those feelings that you started your class off with today. Feelings that drove you to come to this practice, to continue to practice. So you can take that with you on to the rest of your day. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like in your own space. Thank you for joining me for class today. Once again, my name is Jennifer. This is a Exos 30-minute yoga practice. Might join us again next Friday. Namaste.